What's cracking, Jack? It's Tuesday, December 23rd, and you're in the jungle. 14 games on tap in the association. I've got them all for you. Every single one of them. Right here, right now. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to The Hustle. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. I'm going to break down all 14 games in the NBA and give you a side or total and player prop for each one of those games. I'm also going to leave two links for you in the comments section. The first link is to my $5 favorite play of the day. And for just $5 and no further obligation, you get my best NBA bet of the day text to your phone. Yesterday's play was Derek White of the Celtics, over 18.5 points. Congratulations to all who cashed. The second link is to become a jungle member. And as a member, for as little as 55 cents a day, you get my full betting card sent to your phone every single morning, all sports. You also get access to our members-only Discord and a direct line to me. If you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you are considering placing, we have a free weekly trial. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. Today's video is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Open up a new account today at mybookie.ag. Make sure to use promo code SILVERBACK, and if you do, your first bet, if it misses, is refunded up to $500. So yesterday, Jungle Members and I went 2-2 in the NBA. We hit on Derek White over points, and we hit on Najee Marshall of the Mavericks over points. We missed on Banchero over points plus assists and missed on Brandon Miller rebounds. We've got a lot to cover today. I'm super excited. Hey, guys, make sure you're subbed to the channel because I started yesterday a new series called the 5 o'clock Flyer, where every day at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I release another video, a second video in the NBA with one plus money play between the odds of plus 130 and plus 230. So make sure you're subbed up so you get notified when that video drops. So our journey begins today in Philadelphia. Brooklyn catching 9.5 points, taking on the Sixers over under 218.5. Brooklyn has won 2 of their last 3 games. And although they're tough to back, the Sixers have only covered this big number of minus 9.5 in 25% of games this season. And the Nets have been tough to beat by 10 recently. They've covered their number of plus 9.5 in 6 of their last 8. I would take a chance with the Nets and the points, and also consider Michael Porter Jr. of Brooklyn over 24.5 points. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 games with a median of 31 points a game. Washington plus 5.5 at Charlotte, the over-under 232.5. The Wizards win the games they're supposed to, and they lose the games that they're supposed to. Their only 3 wins the last 10 have come against Milwaukee, Indiana, and Memphis. They're not supposed to win this game. They played Charlotte once this season. They were actually favored in that game by 1.5, and the Hornets beat them by 26. Too much offensive firepower Charlotte has for the Wizards to keep up with. I would lay the 5.5 with the Hornets and consider Knipple over 18.5 points. Milwaukee minus 1.5 at Indiana. Battle of the have-nots over under 218.5. But I think the line is too low. The total's too low. They played once this season. The total hit 232. 7 of the Pacers' last 10 games have gone over this total. Over 218 is the play here. And also consider Pascal Siakam of Indiana over 22.5 points. I'm the captain now. If you know, you know. He's a player the Pacers lean on the second day of back-to-backs. This is the 4th time this season that he'll be on the second day of a back-to-back. He's been over this line in the other 3 with a median of 25 points a game. Chicago plus 4.5 at Atlanta over under 253.5. They played 2 days ago, and the Bulls won 152-150. Again, as a 4.5 point underdog, 302 points in that game. They also beat the Hawks October 27th, 128-123. I think they go over this total. These are 2 teams that don't play that much defense. In the last 2 meetings were 251 scored and 302 scored. If you know me, you know I like to play the high totals over and the low totals under. Over 253.5 is the play here, and also consider Jalen Johnson of the Hawks over 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The 2 games that Trae Young has been back in the lineup, Johnson has had 63 and 56 PRA. Pelicans plus 9.5 at Cleveland over under 245.5. Pelicans have won 4 straight games and covered the spread in 9 of their last 10. They're hot. Cleveland has lost 3 of their last 4 and only covered the spread in 2 of their last 10. The trend is your friend in this game. Take the hot Pelicans with the 9.5 and consider Saddiq Bey of New Orleans over 15.5 points. He's been over this line in 9 of his last 10 games, and Herbert Jones is questionable. Most likely won't play in this game, and games without Herbert Jones, Saddiq Bey has been over every single one of them. 9 games with a median of 20 points a game. Get to the window soon and put Saddiq Bey in before Herbert Jones is officially ruled out. Toronto plus 5.5 at Miami, over under 228.5. Both teams struggling. Miami 2-8 their last 10, 3-7 against the spread. Toronto 3-7 their last 10, 2-8 against the spread. Both teams really struggling to score. 5 straight Raptors games have stayed under this total, and 5 of the Heat's last 8 games have stayed under this total. They just played December 15th, and the total hit just 202. Let's go under 228.5 and consider Khalil Ware of Miami over 11.5 rebounds. Knicks plus 7.5 at Minnesota, over under 228.5. Jalen Brunson's out for New York. New York has been a great home team against the spread this season, but just 3-10 against the number on the road in their last 13. I would lay this 7.5 with Minnesota and consider Anthony Edwards over 32.5 points plus assists. He's over this line in 6 of his last 10 with a median of 37. Denver at Dallas, over under, or Denver minus 6.5 at Dallas, over under 235.5. Denver 12-2 on the road this season, straight up. The Nuggets have covered the spread in 61% of games this season. Mavericks just 45%. Denver has a point differential of plus 9.1 per game. Dallas minus 3.9. And after a pretty decent run, the Mavericks have now lost 2 consecutive games. I think this line is short. I will lay the 6.5 with Denver and consider Tim Hardaway Jr. over 11.5 points. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 games with a median of 13 points a game. OKC at San Antonio. Going to be a great game to watch. Over under 233.5. Both big men, Holmgren and Hartenstein, questionable for OKC. Wemby, questionable for San Antonio. Don't pick a side here until we know if Wemby's playing. And if he is playing, I would take the points with the Spurs. If not, I would stay away from a side. I do like Stephon Castle, though, over 21.5 points plus assists. He's been over this line in 7 straight games and his last 2 against the Thunder. He steps up in big games. Memphis minus 3.5, at Utah. Over under 243.5. Should be a high-scoring game. Utah gives up more points than any team in the association. These 2 teams just played December 12th. The total hit 256. I would go over the 243.5 here and consider Keontae George of Utah over 24.5 points. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 games with a median of 28. Lakers plus 11.5 at Phoenix. Over under 226.5. Luke is out. Reeves is questionable. I like Phoenix here. The Suns are 17-6-1 against the spread their last 24 games. That's 71%. Lay the points with the Suns and consider Devin Booker over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He always plays hard against the Lakers, and he's been over this line for the last 5 times that he's played them. Orlando minus 1.5 at Portland, over under 232.5. Blazers are playing better than Orlando is right now. Portland 6-4 in their last 10 against the spread. The Magic just 2-8 against the number and coming off a bad loss last night in Golden State. I would take Portland on the money line and consider Denny Avia over 24.5 points. Detroit minus 8.5 at Sacramento, over under 220.5. The Pistons minus the points are the play here. Detroit's the best team in the East with a point differential of plus 6.8 per game. Sacramento is the worst team in the West with a point differential of minus 10.5. Lay the 8.5 with the Pistons and consider Cade Cunningham over 9.5 assists. In the last game we're looking at today, Houston minus 7.5 at the Clippers, over under 219.5. The Rockets have now lost 3 of their last 4 straight up, but I think this is a good rebound opportunity for them against a Clippers team that really struggles to score. Houston puts up 121 a game. The Clippers just 110. Lay the 7.5 with the Rockets and consider Jabari Smith Jr. of Houston over 14.5 points. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 games with a median of 16 points a game, playing 30 minutes and taking 13 shots. Have a great day, Jungle Nation. Let me know your favorite play in the comment section, and I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.